perception front that is purely on the court of public opinion, which is driven by a narrative that stems from media reports and allegations from wherever they come from. Now, I'm looked at as a criminal. I'm looked at as this face of corruption, this guy that's plundered trillions out of this country, which is not the case, by the way. So I'd just like to say to the public out there, I'm not corrupt. I'm not taking any money from anybody. I never have, and I never will. How they take it, that's not for me to decide. But I just want to make that clear. So when you see me walking around, just know that it's not me.
Zuma has also questioned why former public protectors did not wait for his testimony before releasing her report on state capture. Now, Thuli Madonsela has accused him of lying. Zuma concedes that he was subpoenaed, but says he was unable to appear immediately because he was overseas at the time.
The procedural part of how the public protector dealt with it, it's up for debate. All I'm saying is my version is not on the final report. And I take your point, look for another avenue. You said that I should have maybe taken an approach like Mr. AJ Gupta did to force himself to go and present himself. Once again, I humbly disagree with that, because if people are looking for versions, a version of events, that's something that we need to present. They need to give us that opportunity. We can't be fighting for that opportunity, especially when it's something that affects us via allegations. So I'm just merely putting across that I'm sitting here today, and that's what I said yesterday. Why is my version not of events, not on the public protector's report?
Now, earlier, former public protector Thuli Madonsela spoke to ENCA. She said Zuma has given several opportunities to respond.
I don't know why he's lying, but I know what he has gained by lying. What he has gained by lying is diversion and victimhood. We know as lawyers, we know in the O.J. Simpson case and many other cases that a case is not won purely on fact. Public narrative is equally important. So what does the public do now? Instead of focusing on state capture, the public narrative has diverted into was Mr. Zuma treated badly. And of course, what it does then, it means that until we get the final product, he's a victim and he's not really an accountable accused person.
Now, Duduzane Zuma has wrapped up his testimony at the state capture inquiry. NCA's Michael Apple's been following the story and sums up his time in the spotlight.
Duduzane Zuma has concluded now his evidence at the state capture inquiry. He has left the building, but before doing so, before taking leave and being excused from the stand, he used the opportunity, which I don't think he often gets or chooses to make use of, and that is a platform to the public to say, you have painted me, the media has painted me unfairly as a corrupt individual, the face of corruption in South Africa, somebody who allegedly spirited off trillions of rands offshore out of South Africa. He says that's not true, by the way, and he says that he's found himself caught in a political storm, not of his making. He's a victim. His father was the sitting head of state. It got ugly politically, and he, as a businessman that was trying to forge his way in that industry and in that world, got caught up in the middle of it. And he says he's struggled to get his side of the version put out there. He references the public protector, and it was an interesting morning in the sense that his legal counsel got to take him through several of the contentious issues that Jonas raised in his testimony before this inquiry, and he was able to speak freely and finally put some of the issues to rest. So the infamous meeting that Jonas has on Jonas's version with one of the Gupta brothers who offers him the 600 million and 600,000 in cash if he'll take the finance minister's job. Jonas says it was Duduzane who brought him to meet the Guptas at the Guptas' residence. Duduzane says, I brought him to the residence, but the Guptas were not involved at all, and no ministerial posts were ever discussed, let alone a bribe. So that's the one accusation. Now, there's several of them, but Mxolisi Dukwana, the former MEC for Economic Development in the Free State, says that Duduzane was there in the room when Ace Magashule and one of the Gupta brothers tells him to sign a piece of paper which will guarantee the Gupta-linked company a construction deal in the Free State, and he'll get 2 million rand a month. Duduzane says that never happened at all. And then the issues around Nwako Ramatlhodi saying Duduzane Zuma tried to lure him to the Gupta's residence in Saxonwold, where he was then the Minister of Mineral Resources, and we know how heavily involved the Gupta family was. Their tentacles were in that industry, so one can only imagine what would have happened or what would have been asked had Ramatlhodi made his way there, but he is adamant he never did it. Duduzane Zuma saying he never approached Ramatlhodi to try and get him to the residence. There are a whole host of them. Those are the most important, Jeremy.